If a magnet be brought near to a piece of soft iron or an electrified body be brought near to a neutral one, certain changes are wrought in the soft iron or in the neutral body by that bringing near. The propinquity of the magnet makes the soft iron a magnet. The qualities of the magnet are produced in it. It manifests force, it attracts steel, it attracts or repels the end of an electric needle. In the presence of a positively electrified body, the electricity in a neutral body is rearranged and the positive retreats while the negative gathers near the electrified body. An internal change has occurred in both cases from the propinquity of another object. So with Purusha and Prakriti, Purusha does nothing, but from the Purusha there comes out an influence, as in the case of the magnetic influence. The three gunas under this influence of Purusha undergo a marvelous change. You cannot say that Prakriti absorbs the influence. You can hardly say that it reflects the Purusha, but the presence of Purusha brings about certain internal changes, causes a difference in the equilibrium of the three gunas in Prakriti. The three gunas were in a state of equilibrium. No guna was manifest, one guna was balanced against another. What happens when Purusha influences Prakriti? The quality of awareness in Purusha is taken up by or reflected in the guna called sattva, rhythm, and it becomes cognition in Prakriti. The quality that we call life in Purusha is taken up by or reflected in the guna called rajas, that is mobility, and it becomes force, energy, activity in Prakriti. The quality that we call immutability in Purusha is taken up by or reflected in the guna called tamas, inertia, and shows itself out as will or desire in Prakriti. So that in that balanced equilibrium of Prakriti, a change is taken place by the mere propinquity of or presence of the Purusha. The Purusha has lost nothing, but at the same time a change is taken place in the matter. Cognition has appeared in it, activity, force has appeared in it, will or desire has appeared in it. With this change in Prakriti, another change occurs. The three attributes of Purushas cannot be separated from each other, nor can the three attributes of Prakriti be separated from each other. Hence, rhythm, while appropriating awareness, is under the influence of the whole three in one Purusha, and cannot but also take subordinate life and immutability as activity and will. And so with mobility and inertia, in combination, one quality or another may predominate, and we may have combinations which show preponderantly awareness, rhythm, or life, mobility, or immutability, inertia. The combinations in which awareness, rhythm, or cognition predominates become mind in nature, the subject or subjective half of nature. Combinations in which either of the other two predominates become the object or objective half of the nature, the force and matter of the Western scientists. The first in India was the Suddha Sattva of the Ramanuja school, and the second and third of the Prakriti or spirit matter in the lower science of the same. We have thus nature divided into two, the subject and the object. We have now in nature everything that is wanted for the manifestation of activity, for the production of forms, and for the expression of consciousness. We have mind and we have force and matter. Purusha has nothing more to do, for he has infused all powers into Prakriti and sits apart, contemplating their interplay, himself remaining unchanged. The drama of existence is played out within matter, and all that spirit does is to look at it. Purusha is the spectator before whom the drama is played. He is not the actor but only a spectator. The actor is the subjective part of nature, the mind, which is a reflection of awareness in rhythmic matter, that with which it works. Objective nature is a reflection of the other qualities of Purusha, life and immutability in the gunas, rajas and tamas. Thus, we have in nature everything that is wanted for the production of the universe. The Purusha only looks on when the drama is played before him. He is spectator, not actor. This is the predominant note of Bhagavad Gita. Nature does everything, the gunas bring about the universe. The man who says, I act, is mistaken and confused. The gunas act not he. He is only the spectator and looks on. Now we got a Vedantic school, another school of thought. Vedanta says the self is one, omnipresent, all-permeating, the one reality. Nothing exists except the self. That is the starting point in Vedanta. All-permeating, all-controlling, all-inspiring. The self is everywhere present. As the ether permeates all matter, so does the one self permeate, restrain, support and vivify all. Gita says that as the air goes everywhere, so is the self everywhere in the infinite diversity of objects. Vedantic thoughts that of one universe, self is who is existent consciousness bliss. Sat Chit Ananda. This is different from Samkhya. Here the self is one, the self is everywhere conscious, the self is everywhere existent, the self is everywhere blissful. There is no division between these qualities of the self. Everywhere, all embracing these qualities are found at every point in every place. There is no place where the self is not there. Where the self is and he is everywhere, there is existence, there is consciousness, and there is bliss. The self, being consciousness, imagines limitation, division. From that imagination of limitation arises form, diversity, manyness. This is manyness from the oneness. From that thought of the self, from that thought of limitation, all diversity of the many is born. Matter is the limitation imposed upon the self by his own will to limit himself. Yekoham bahu sham. I am one, I will to be many. Let me be many is the thought of the one. And in that thought, the manifold universe comes into existence. In that limitation, self is created. He exists. He is conscious. He is happy. In him arises a thought that he is self-existence, and behold, all existence becomes possible, because in him is the will to manifest. All manifestation at once comes into existence.